Hello, everybody. So my stocks are all roller coasters. Today, it's HIM's turn to take a swift movement to the downside, this time minus 7%. Why? Because Novo Nordisk is launching Novo Direct, a real threat. Is this offering a real threat? They had the press release this morning, and of course, all of the big newspapers relayed this press release. So let's get started. Let's first note the fact that HIMS is a stock who only trades on 18.6% of its revenue. GLP-1s, not even GLP-1s by the way, weight loss, and they have a big oral offering. Weight loss offerings in general were 18.6% of the HIMS revenue, but this 18.6% is all that seems to care, is all the market they seems to care about. The market doesn't seem to care about the rest, and so that's very, very silly because 80% of this company's revenue the market doesn't care about. A stock would still grow 45% year over year without any of the GLP-1s, without any of the weight loss offerings, right? The 80% remaining in the business are still growing 45% year over year. So HIMS doesn't need GLP-1s to do well. That's point number one. But the market only cares about GLP-1 when it comes to HIMS. And today we had a press release for Novo, and all of the companies or journalists, right? All of the news sites were quick to reuse this press release saying, oh, Novo Nordisk launches its own pharmacy. Hims and hers is others. It's Reuters here. And you see Reuters is showing you investors that are sweating. Oh my gosh, right? Reuters is telling you how to feel. Reuters is telling you should be feeling fearful because they found the picture with traders with just hands on their head. Oh my gosh, this is so bad. We're in trouble. And of course it's working because HIMS is down 7.5% in pre-market. Like I said, you would hope this journalist wouldn't place trades before they release the articles. It's almost comical that you would place a picture like this for every single press release to reuse. That's the Reuters pictures. They all reuse this thing. Anyways, it's kind of ridiculous. So let me go through 3 points, and then I'll finish with a wild card when it comes to Novo and Denmark. But let's go ahead and let's analyze this news. So, of course, the press release everywhere you go, CNBC, investor.com, name your website, you'll find that they say that patients will be able to pay $4.99 per month for the weekly drug, cash, $4.99. instead of $13.50. So that's a significant drop. So kudos to Novo for doing that. I love it when old world companies are not trying to rent sick. This is very good, and I just want to give him credit. Just like I gave credit to Lilly for Lilly Direct, NovoCare, if you actually do that, I give you a lot of credit. That's point number one. Point number two, of course, you know me, I see NovoCare, I'm like, okay, I'm going to look it up. So I just went on the website right now, and it gets weird. Frankly, did they actually update the website, or did they just do a press release? Because when I go on the website, this is not what I see. When I go on the website, it's not nearly as direct and as clear as Lilly Direct's website. When I go on the website, all I see is an insurance machine. They do everything to try to get you to input your insurance data, not even thinking about people who don't have insurance. Everything is all about, the first link, top of the page, the very first thing is you check your insurance coverage, find out more. All they do is try to get you to put your insurance data, and if you don't have your insurance data, as it happens in the US, they try to tell you, well, if you don't have your insurance data, we'll give you this savings card, this insurance card, and this insurance card is $650 cash. I could find nowhere on the website an insurance card for $4.99 cash. The lowest I could find was $650 cash. And to get that $650 per month cash option, you need to go through their questionnaire. You need to input all of your data, and you get the usual confusing lingo of insurance. Oh, it doesn't count towards your out of pocket. Oh, you need to be uninsured. Oh, and by the way, this will be processed out of your insurance, cannot count towards your deductible or your out-of-pocket maximums. They reuse the confusing lingo when the 21st century customer is annoyed with, and so that's why HIMS wins. HIMS doesn't have any of this confusing lingo. HIMS, the price is clear. The price up front. It's it's $159 up front. It's very, very clear. Also, The rent seeking is not entirely gone, because when I go on the website, every single page of the NovoCare website leads you to this link: irresponsible advertising about knockoffs, talking about knockoffs, saying, making no distinction, quite frankly, between a knockoff and an actual compounded medication that is well regulated and well approved by the FDA in 503 facilities, compounding facilities. Like it's fear. Like you go on the website and the first link you see on top is a big warning. Be fearful of the compounded semaglutide. But you know what? Compounded drugs are allowed by the FDA, and they are done if they FDA-approved facilities. And it's that's what the CEO of HIMSS was complaining about. The risk, in my view, if you ask me, is people want to lose weight no matter what. And granted, $500 a month is much easier to afford than $1,350. But question number one is, can people still afford $499 a month? And question number two is, if they can't afford it and HIMSS is gone, and not just HIMSS, right? Row, and there's a bunch of other websites that do it. If these inexpensive compounded options are gone, they are going to go on TikTok. They're going to watch a few TikTok videos, and then they're going to buy this on AliExpress. This is less than $900 on AliExpress. This is called a peptide synthesizer. And by the way, they're not going to make semaglutide. They're not going to make tirzepatide. They're going to make retatrutide, which is not approved yet by the FDA, but which is like the drug that is popular on a lot of social media. Like, that's what's going to happen. I'm sorry, I know they write about, the difficult things and the fact that, these drugs were not safe. The truth is, peptides are among the easiest drugs to manufacture. And that is why HIMSS and so many other companies have been easy to make them. And that is why kids on TikTok are able to simply make them in their bathroom. You put this on the countertop, you do it in the bathroom. And this is less than $1,000 for this setup. I know it may sound silly, but this is actually one of the directions of healthcare. If you read any of the Peter Diamandis books on this, he's very, very clear that there's a lot of drugs that you're just going to be able to make at home. And this is just the beginning. So, anyways, like what are you doing when you're doing this? Kudos to you. This is a video where I give credit to Novo. It's a good thing that they dropped the price. I just need to see it on the website, and I don't see it on the website yet, which tells me this could be impression management. This could be PR. To get the $4.99, you could have to go to a bunch of questionnaires, upload a bunch of forms, and then maybe if they don't find a way to find your insurance, if they actually find that you don't have insurance, then maybe and maybe only they give you a savings card. That's entirely different from a buy direct offer like HIMSS, where you can just put your credit card, buy it direct, and you get the doctor's consultation included, which is also the problem of all of these offers. You still need a regular doctor to send your prescription in. With HIMSS, you don't do that, because with HIMSS, the cost of a prescription is included, is bundled in the cost of the medication. But anyway, let's assume that Novo is actually dropping the price to $4.99. Like I said, could not see that on the website. Well, you would still be 400%. So kudos. You're not 13 or 14 times more expensive anymore, but you would still be 5 times more expensive than the HIMSS offer for first responders and medical professionals. You would still be 3 times more expensive than the HIMSS offer for anybody, which is their compounded semaglutide. They dropped the price recently to $165. You would still be 3 times more expensive. And I found, so kudos to his website too for doing this tracker. I'm giving you the source here, Peterson KFF Health System Tracker. They show you the cost of semaglutide per country, the average cost, and you can see, it's not my fault. The lowest cost here is actually France. So with $4.99 in the US for Novo would still be charging the product in America. They would still be charging 450% more than France. France is where I hail from originally. I've been in the US for 15 years. But anyways, so I don't know what's going on in France. Demand must be low over there or something. I don't know what's going on in this country. It's not just France, right? United Kingdom is very cheap too. Sweden is very cheap too. Australia is very cheap too. Like what is going on? Like, your lowest price is still 5 times more expensive than essentially all of Europe. That's your lowest price. Your lowest price is still almost 4 times more expensive than Canada. Like what is going on, Novo? It's really, I mean, the United States is really the cash cow of pharma companies, is the way I look at this. And so of course Hims is thriving. Hims wouldn't be thriving too much in Europe with those prices, since it's cheaper to go through the regular seller of the drug, right? So anyways, that's my point number 2. My point number 3 is that if they're actually dropping to $4.99, if it's more than a press release, if it's not a prescription crowds that you have to jump through hoops to get, then in that case, like I said, kudos to Novo for lowering the price. That's good. And I also think it could be an opportunity for Hims, because Ro is a much smaller player in the space, and Ro was able to take on the opportunity of Lilly Direct. You see, Ro did a partnership with Lilly Direct where they let you pay the price of $3.49 to $4.99 for Lilly Direct. And so let's assume you have a mild case of obesity, you would be paying $3.49. You wouldn't need the 5 milligrams, or 2.5 would be just enough. So you would be paying $3.49. And then on top of that, you would be adding the doctor follow-ups and the doctor visits. Ro charges you $145 for the doctor visit. So all in all, you would be just under $500 a month for the branded Zepbound, the branded tirzepatide with the doctor follow-up at Ro. And Ro is able to do that because they have a smaller volume. They were able to partner with Lilly Direct. Now, this question was asked directly on the call to the Hims CEO. Why don't you partner with Lilly Direct and do the same as Ro? And the CEO said, we've engaged with them. It's very simple. They don't have the volume. And of course they don't have the volume, because if you look at the market share of Hims, they are nearly 50% of the telehealth business. Nearly 50%. So they've told them they don't have the volume. Will Lilly have the volume? I doubt it. But if they do, that could be a good thing. And Hims could potentially offer authentic drugs for $4.99 a month, and maybe they negotiate a little bit because they have a little bit of volume, and they bundle in the doctor visits, and that would allow them to continue selling these drugs. So anyways, another problem though is they're dropping the price to $4.99. So what do we think is going to happen to the demand if you drop the price to $4.99? If you drop the price from $13.50 to $4.99, what do you think is going to happen to the demand? The demand will likely go through the roof, which means that shortages may be coming back if the demand goes back through the roof, right? So my conclusion for today's video: GLP-1 shortages, they may be back on. This could go 4 years, right? The OFA sued the FDA for saying it's not in shortage. They sued the day after. So the lawsuit against semaglutide being currently available, that lawsuit was on the day after. So the OFA already did that, and the OFA already has one against tirzepatide. So the Pharmacy Compounders Association is saying that's not true. It's actually still in shortage. Look, what do you think is going to happen to the shortages now that it's $4.99? It's likely going to go up. Hims is good because they have generic liraglutide coming, and generic liraglutide, it's a GLP-1. Yes, it's a little bit of weight. It's a little bit less weight loss, but if you pair it with an oral medication, you can get similar profiles to Ozempic, as the CEO said on the call. And they hope that a lot of people will switch to generic GLP-1s, where Hims will have full control. Also, the personalization will allow them to sell personalized compounded GLP-1s. I want to point out that, of course, they can't say someone is personalized and needs a 2.6 milligram, and then you just change slightly the dosage and say this is medically warranted. But what they can do is they can have someone send them their labs, and if in the labs they find a B12 deficiency, if in the labs they find an actual need for compounding, then they can still compound the drug. I also believe in them acquiring Tribe, acquiring the lab, the at-home lab testing company, that could be a way to get people to qualify for personalization. Because if Hims actually draws the blood of people and look at the fact that they have some sort of a vitamin deficiency, of some sort of thing is going on in their blood, that in a documented manner justifies the need for personalization, they will be able to do a compounded semaglutide. The one thing I don't think HIMSS will do is will just let people say in a questionnaire, oh, I need compounded semaglutide because I have XYZ deficiency. I don't think they will do that. I think in a lawsuit that wouldn't go well. But if they actually document the fact that people need compounded GLP-1s via lab tests, then they could still sell the compounded semaglutide as that exception has always existed. And lastly, the customers that do not need customization, the customers who are the kind of a simple patients, which presumably is most of the patients, at least in the current state of practice of healthcare, who could qualify for 2.5 milligrams or 5 milligrams semaglutide. Well, these patients could either be moved to a commercial offer, which I hope HIMSS will be able to offer if there is actually no shortage, like the FDA says. That's point number one. But if not, they could try to get them to an oral weight loss pill solution, or a combination between an oral weight loss pill solution and generic liraglutide, and that could mitigate a lot of that drop. So no, I don't think they will lose all of their customers mid-March over this. And so, they will lose some customers, but not all of them. And to me, it's entirely unwarranted that this company is only trading on GLP-1s. And I will conclude this video with a wild card. And when I saw this yesterday, if you watch the speech, Trump said in the speech, going on Greenland, he said Greenland is important to the national security of the U.S. and the U.S. will take Greenland one way or the other. So in my world, what does that mean for stocks? That means that Trump is coming for Danish companies coming for Denmark. So maybe Denmark companies will have a special treatment during these negotiations, and that's why I'm actually seriously thinking about selling my Genmab, because Genmab, unfortunately, is a Danish company, and that economic pressure is one of his main ways to get his way. And so Novo, in my view, could be at risk, and so could Genmab, and so could any Denmark company who sells products in the US. It really sucks for these companies. They didn't deserve that. It has nothing to do with them. But that's the wild card. The market is a crazy place. And so, let's see what happens with Novo, but surely that doesn't look good that they charge, still 6 times more than they charge, for example, in France. It's like, why is that? Well, that's because the US healthcare system pays a fortune for drugs and other countries pay way less. So anyways, I could imagine pressure coming, and I would be careful about this, but that's just me, right? So anyways, that's not investment advice, not financial advice, just entertainment. Hoping you were entertained. Please please subscribe, follow me on Patreon, follow me on X. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.